I think we're on there. Um, Hi. Let's chuck some headphones on. Uh, I been building some new loops, creating some hopefully some new tunes, and it's not going well at the moment, which is a great place to start this live Ask Me Anything session off with, but mostly it's not going great because I'm not comfortable with playing the parts that I want to put in the loops. So, which it probably applies to us all. It's been really, really enjoyable actually sitting down and figuring out, going through some new songs that I'd really like to do, but they have some techniques in them that I am not good at. and so they're new to me, so I'm learning those as we go. But feel free to say hi if you're on in the chat and connect. I thought it might be useful tonight to as everyone appears and connects in, to just go through what I've been doing in terms of building these loops and starting out with some new songs. But the the biggest one literally is getting the technical side down so that my brain is not working on the guitar parts that I'm really comfortable with it. So I reckon let's get into it. This is there's a sorry there's a tune I've been I played around with a long time ago, called Hey Roger. Roger here from lockdown Sydney. I hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, we're back in lockdown as well, so which, you know, great time for practice and learning loops and things like that. So, but not ideal for live performance and things like that. So I hope you're doing well over there, brother. Yeah, this is it's interesting trying to put down some loops, and there's a tune, Wintergreen by the East Pointers, and it's got this cool little banjo little line in it. So I want to loop that, and I've been looping that, but it is awesome, man. Glad you are doing okay. Lots of playing practice at home, or are we relaxing, or maybe you're still working from home? I'm not sure, man. But anyway, that little riff, I can't play it at tempo at the speed that they play it at, and it's funny because I went to start this looping today, and I put down a basic beat. Actually, let's see if this is all still connected. There we go. So that's the basic groove that's under it. So put that down the loop, putting this down, but in order to do what I want, I realized this is just too much brain power whilst playing this. I want to hit the record for the third loop just at the end on there to set up my my third track. So I'm going to be switching between loop 2 and 3 for this, and I've set my assigns differently on a different memory setting, by the way, so that one of those loop triggers is start stop track 2 and start stop track 3, which means that it's a really good way to switch between a verse and a chorus on the RC300. So it means that if track 2 is playing and I hit that trigger, it will stop and track 3 will start. If track 3 is playing, it will stop and track 2 will start, and if they're both playing, they'll both stop, or if they both stop, they'll both start playing. But I'm only ever going to have one of them playing at a time, so it's literally like a loop, a verse chorus type setup. But checking back in, Roger, I run a startup, so have worked from home for the last. Oh, okay, awesome, man. But yeah, live performance is worship oriented, so getting into producing virtual songs for the weekly YouTubes. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's funny how things change. I'm amazed how many people have adapted just so quickly. As much as we all love getting out and performing live, it's cool to see that. Yeah, like yourself, man. You've gone into producing content to yeah, do everything virtually. It's cool. I genuinely I'm not watching a huge lot of the news and media and stuff in New Zealand, so it's funny when people, because I will find out from friends and people obviously easily enough when we're able to do stuff. I don't need to like check the updates. But it's funny because yeah, I guess it's that thing with like I have zero idea when we will perform live next, when I will or not. But it's sort of like I'll find out when I need to find out. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you all, by the way. But it's in the meantime we're doing this. I've got some time to sit at home and improve my skills. Hopefully I can get all this these little riffs and things really locked in. But for me, some of this stuff, I'm like, it just is hours of practice, because I need this guitar part to be on autopilot so that I can get nice timing for looping and also know that it's going to lock in nicely. I'm not going to get the and have that stuck in my loop. We've all done that before too, right? Where you've played something into a loop and you're like, oh, I mucked it up, or it's not tight, or all that sort of stuff. So hey everybody, if you've just joined, welcome. Hey Rodden, I bought a used RC300 and can't get the loops to sync. Perfect, brother. We can go through that for you. Basically, there's a bunch of settings you want to go in and change on it. It may have some interesting settings already in there for you, so we'll get to that in a mo. I just noticed there's a few more things there. So Kelvin, hey man, if you want any original stuff, would love to collab with you. I'm from Boston, England. Love your content, learnt so much, been self-teaching and picking stuff up last years. Hey man, send me a message. There's various things that projects and things that might happen, and I can't. I'm not always going to promise that things will come of it, but feel free to shoot me a message, and some things pan out, some things don't. But feel free to connect, man, and yeah, who knows what might happen from chatting. Thanks. Hope things are well for you as well, by the way, over Boston, England. Nice. It looks like, and let me know if I'm wrong, but it looks like things are starting to happen musically back in the UK a little bit more. I could well be wrong, but I've been happy to see a few people out playing in general, which is cool. So. And Rodden, if I create a percussion loop of 1 bar in loop 1 and verse on loop 2 of about 8 bars, yep, that's totally doable. It's literally what I'm trying to do with this little tune at the moment. So let's I'm curious now, because when I set up the RC300, I went through and it's interesting, I've spent less time going through and changing a lot of settings in it. I have two main setups that I use, I guess. one that I use 90% of the time, and the second one that literally I'm using for this, where I switch tracks 2 and 3 as a verse chorus type scenario. So but they don't sync. So let's get that sorted for you. And from memory, and this is purely from memory, brother. So if I've got this wrong, let me know. And to be honest, some of you that have an RC300, then you will you maybe be able to chip in on this as well, which would be great. But I'm pretty sure I set in the menu the loops to free, and then tempo sync with track 1. But let's actually dive in and go through it, because you will not be the only person that has this issue. So I have to. This is good. I literally have to remember how to do it. I think we go into memory, so let's just bear with me for a moment if I disappear. And hi to everyone that's just jumped on. Marcelo and Jacob, how's it going? I have managed to trap my headphone lead. Oh, I'm bashing everything up tonight. Sorry, Rodden, we'll get back to the sync in just a moment. Kia ora, David. Beginner guitarist here. Would loop help me on my learning journey? I think yes, because you suddenly realise timing, all sorts of different things, and it's great to be able to create some tracks to jam with. Well, if you've jumped on a live stream before, you know I jump around the place a bit, so we'll come back to some loop setup on the RC300 soon. Having some test events and music festivals are finally coming back. Awesome, Calvin. Nice. Hurrah for the UK. Hey David, been loving your live streams lately. I finally put together a looping set list and want to put it in front of an audience. Any tips for finding gigs as a new musician? Yeah, cool. We'll get to that in a mo. Hey Ron, welcome along. So let's just dive into the RC300 and get the tracks synced. I don't have a camera on it, so you're going to see me disappear for a moment, but hopefully you'll still hear me talking. And so from memory, literally, I'm we go into the it's gonna have to remind me whether it's the system. Dun, 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 dun. Track 1 outputs. There's so many options. This is where I got really good on the we're just getting into the assigns. Okay, I might have to send you a message, Rodden, because I literally as I'm doing this, I'm like, where did I go in and set those? So as I say, I've really set up with the RC300. I set up saved memory systems that I where all the tracks sync. It's all just live. It's not running to a metronome. But I honestly, somewhere in system or memory, in fact it's not. It's in the tracks. It's in the tracks. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that little moment of me forgetting entirely where it is. So if you I don't know if you've got your RC300 there, brother, but if you click on track 1, the little edit under the dial, then scroll through and when you get to measure, I have it set to free, and then the where are we? Loop sync is on, tempo sync is off. So loop sync is on. Awesome. We want the loops to sync together, but tempo sync is off. So I'm not using a click track or the rhythm track on the RC300. So I want that off. I've tried everything, but no luck. Sometimes they sync, sometimes they don't. there will be a little setting going on, and I found this a little bit fascinating. But reach out, man, and we can connect. There's I can literally, in fact, probably the easiest thing is after this live stream, I can send you a little video, just of the settings of those 3 tracks. So, which is probably what I'd recommend, because the thing that sounds likely is there might be a tempo sync on, especially if you're not using the rhythm. It's something that the the Voice Live 3 does, and it gets a bunch of people because the metronome will be on but muted, and then your loops actually record to the metronome, and you can do the same thing on the RC300. You can have the tempo sync on, you can have the rhythm on, but with the volume turned down all the way, and then the RC300 is recording to that tempo sync, that track, but not, you're not hearing it. So then when you go to put in a groove, or something live, it's like, far out, what is going on here? So tempo sync off, and free, and I'm pretty sure that I have the same settings on each track, Rodden, but send me a message, man, and I'll just fire through a video of just the settings. I'm sure we'll get it sussed for you, brother. So it's cool. A few people chipping in, which is awesome as well. Ron, one track set to 2 bars and the other 2 on free. That's a real awesome way to do it as well. I know there's a bunch of people that also have some of the memory settings saved for specific tracks, and then that way you know that it's going to record the length that you want, and kick into the next thing. So it's a really good performance tool if you're just for timing, knowing that it's gonna essentially start looping and cut you off if you're a little bit late with the old foot pedals. So nice. Okay, what questions did I miss out going back? Also, by the way, if you've got a question that doesn't get answered, or you think of something during the week, I did set up the little link on my website, so you can jump on there and send me a message, and we'll include some of those in the live stream. So nice. Marcelo, which looper or pedal or station would you recommend? I thought about an RC500, but not sure if it's too much for a beginner. Honestly, brother, it depends on what you want to do, what your budget is, how much you want to spend on experimenting with this, and I don't think that I don't have this is the right loop pedal, or you should buy this little one and then upgrade each time. It's like maybe something like an RC30, if you can find a bunch of them secondhand, are a great starting point, I think. If you're wanting to do something live, I definitely suggest having a loop pedal with two tracks, or if not that, at least a stop button that's a one hit. But then again, if you're just looking to build up one track with an overdub that repeats, and then at the end of the track you're going to stop it, then there's nothing to stop you just having like an RC1 if you want, or an RC3, the little boss pedals. There's just a huge range, so there's not going to be something that I recommend without knowing your specific situation. So yeah, it's the fun game of size, features, cost, but ultimately all of those things come down to how you're going to use it, and you won't know that necessarily until you buy your first loop pedal, whatever that is, and then start experimenting, and then go, oh, I wish it did this, and then now you've got some knowledge, you can build on it, and most things you'll be able to, if you really find you want to sell that and get another one, they hold reasonable value. So yeah, I hope that helps, brother. And also jump in the comments. There's a bunch of people that, maybe even in the Facebook group, if you've jumped in there, it'd be a great space to say, here's what I want to do with looping. I like, it might change, but I like the idea of building up some grooves for when I play along to. I can have a rhythm track, maybe some chords to solo. My budget is this. What would everyone recommend? The other way to do it would be, sorry, not the other way to do it. Or you might say something like, look, I literally just want to experiment, see if I'm going to enjoy looping or not. And I just want this as a practice tool, so that if I'm practicing a certain scale, I can put some chords down to play over it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Nice. So there's some comments in the chat and stuff as well, brother. That might be handy. But let's just go back. Where were we? Jacob. Finally put together a looping set list and want to put it in front of an audience. Any tips for finding gigs as a new musician? Yeah. One of the things I would highly recommend, and I don't know, I have a feeling you're in Christchurch, but I could be wrong. I highly recommend taking your setup and going and doing some open mic nights, because you get to meet a bunch of other musos, you get to play some tunes, and you get to connect with the network of people that are doing music in some form in your city, in your area, which is an awesome way to connect. And it's the other side of that, I would say, is it's really worth videoing, filming something that you do, so that and I've found I'm really guilty of this recently. You'll notice on my channel I have literally zero of the dance stuff that I do with looping. It's all pretty laid back. Even the version of Dancing in the Moonlight is like this chill version, right? It's not the Saturday night, like, right, let's dance and get amongst it, using samples and things like that I do as well. So it's actually been on my radar. It's one of the things that needs to happen from my end, because I have been doing less shows in general, and there's a certain point where people can hear you playing it's a little bit funny, like a sweet song, and then they're like, well, it sounds nice, but we're thinking of hiring him for our reception at our wedding. Like, it's just not a match, and so it's something that's been missing. Where previously people would see me playing at events at that kind of thing and be like, awesome, yep, cool, we'd love to have you, we saw you at this, we heard you at that. The beautiful thing about the internet and video is that's the way people can go, oh cool, we saw your video, we heard, that's the kind of stuff we would really like, whether it's at our venue, whether it's at an event or anything. So yeah, so just bringing things back, if you joined at the start, I was chatting a little bit, and obviously feel free to chuck questions in and we'll come to them as we go through. But I've been learning some new loops, and it reminded me how much for each loop it really needs to be locked in. So I literally I want to do a song that it's slightly above my capacity playing wise and ability wise. It's pretty quick. I've copied a banjo part for the guitar, which is great. I'm really stoked. I think it'll be very cool. Oh, Josh, hey brother, welcome along. But what I realized is because the technical aspect of it is at my capacity, if you like, as soon as even though it's not a lot of brain power to hit a record button on a loop pedal to then switch to the next track. As I started to put it down today, and I recorded a bit of it because I was like, I'm really curious to see what it actually sounds like. I'm aware that it's not. It's not performance ready, but I listened back and was like, oh man, yep, that's very rough. So I realized that it's like two things that I do with a new tune is I want to get those parts. I want to get these parts down and sorted. But I also realized that part of that process is playing them with... I can't just repeat the parts. Because that's reasonably comfortable. It's not at speed, by the way, but that's reasonably comfortable. But something else happens when I sit down and I think, okay, I want to put that now in a loop. And it's a little bit like if you've ever done a recording or you've recorded yourself, you'll play through a song beautifully fine, no worries, and then the moment you hit the record button, it's like you start making all these strange mistakes and you start overthinking things and like, okay, I can do this, just concentrate, like, and it gets more and more serious. Where some of it's quite common in some of the film and interview stuff that I've done as well, where it's like, okay, no worries, we've got what we needed, thanks. But I leave the camera rolling, and then I just chat with people, and those are usually the best parts of the interview because the pressure's off. We relax, and yeah, it's it makes things more relaxed. But what I will do is genuinely sit down and practice looping. And let's just unmute. Oh, hang on. We'll plug the guitar in. I know you can't see the loop pedal, but you can hear a little bit of what I would do. So let's just put down. So there's our little rhythm, and then what I want to get is practice playing that with hitting the record button. Just same as getting your hands synced up. You want to play the note at the same time that your left hand is moving, unless you're a left-hand guitarist, other way around. But you want those both to be locked in. I want when I hit that loop pedal to be locked in with the nicely in time. So, okay, so I don't know if you watch this back. I'm actually curious to watch this back myself and see how much I notice my concentration switch. Like, okay, here it comes. I need to hit the pedal. I'm already concentrating a lot, as I say, on the guitar part. It's not locked in nicely in time. So some work to do, but I want to do a combination and this is just for me. If it's useful for you, awesome. But I want to do a combination of practicing that riff, getting things nice and relaxed with it, as well as practicing putting it into a loop and building a bad loop at the moment. It's a lot of what I've done today is build it, delete it, build it, delete it, build it, delete it. Be like, okay, cool. It's starting the process that my brain's going, oh, there's more stuff you want to do at the same time as playing this. So I better make all those connections. So hey everybody, welcome along. If you've just joined, nice to have you here. I'll catch up. Mark, hey brother, I'm good. How are you? Where in the world are you, Mark? It's nice connecting back in with you all. By the way, saying hi. Rod and David, I'm in India, and when I do a solo show, I tend to get requests for songs which they want to hear and I don't know. I like to do songs I know well instead of screwing up a song I don't know. Do you get the same requests there, and how do you deal with this? Yes. Yeah. And I would say I was similar to you, Rodden, initially. And what I've found now is for a lot of those shows where I know I'm going to get requests and things like that, if I really can't do the song just at all, then sure, I will flag it. But also, I mean, part of the fact is there, I'm, as much as I've learnt a good repertoire, I play well, I sing well, I'm there to entertain people. So, I've done some horrific renditions of, I'm recalling a night where I got asked to do Celine Dion. If there was a recording, it was I'm sure the most butchered version of Celine Dion I can recall. But it was important to this group of people. And so they all sang along, they were drinking and having a great time, we had a good laugh. I would hate for it to have been recorded and shared around like, oh my gosh, this is David Shannon, listen to this. It would have been awful. But I guarantee the memory that they have of that night that was super fun. Oh my gosh, that guy was great. Like he played it, you know. And so I think there's a balance depending on the show that you're doing. There's a balance where entertainment and connection with the crowd becomes more important. And I didn't get all the chords right, but I have a pretty good ear for if I know a song, if I've heard it a bunch on the radio, it's part of stuff I've listened to, then there's a reasonable chance I'll get through most of it. But yeah, there's a balance to getting everyone on board, because if you then do a song and you don't get everyone on board, and you're now the crowd's not on board with you, you're now playing and singing something really badly, and you're not having a laugh and interacting and entertaining people, then yeah, you're now just playing badly. So you've got to weigh that up for yourself on any night. I don't have a hard and fast rule on it at all. Let's catch up. A few questions. Mark, hey brother, I use a VL3X, which I do love, but I have wondered about the RC500 and watched you change machines. Are you happy? What's the best thing about your change? Yeah, I am happy. And actually, Mark, you've asked this as well. Are you missing your VL3X at all? Not sure I could say goodbye. I am, like, let's be honest, you know, there's some really, really cool things, and I don't have harmonies in my rig at the moment. I also don't have, if I want to change effects, so some things that I used to do would be going into a lead solo. I would have a lead tone set up either with the hit button on the VL3, or so that would have, if you like, an overdrive, a level, the gain setting, a delay, maybe some compression, all tweaked really nicely into the sound that I wanted. With this setup at the moment, obviously I could include the Voice Live 3 as part of the mix, but part of my issue was it was having issues. So, and part of what happened, to be honest, as well, because I'd been using the Voice Live 3 for so long, I tested out and started playing with the RC300, and there was something that came through in the guitar tone that, and could be settings, all sorts of different things, but I felt like there was more love back in my overall guitar tone. So it's a tough one, and this the rest of the setup will change down the track, in terms of individual pedals, but in terms of the looping side of things, I won't go back to the Voice Live 3. So but I definitely miss the two things: is the options for having everything in one button for a tone change or a bridge, a solo, things like that. I don't have any harmonies set up in this at the moment, and that was obviously a great thing with the Voice Live 3. The other thing that's just good is it's just everything is in a really small package. So for touring and traveling, if that's your rig, then it's great. You're sorted. So and I'm not against putting it in the mix with this. At the moment, I've been enjoying the individual pedals on things. So there's nothing to say that I won't ditch some of this and go back to having an RC300 with the Voice Live 3 driving a lot of the tones, a lot of the effects on the guitar and vocals as well. So nothing to stop that happening. Just one of those things that at the moment I basically have two setups, if you like. So I have this full board with the RC300, and then if I wish to, which I've done for a couple of shows just in really, really small places, I've got the Voice Live 3, and I run just straight into that, and that's my full rig again, back to kind of what I had before. So it still works all good. I still get the blue screen of death every now and then and have to go via memory, which will become more challenging as I have this as my main rig, just from muscle memory of what screen I'm on when you can't see anything. But hey everybody, by the way, if you've just joined, welcome. Hi, Byron, aloha from Hawaii. Aloha, brother. Awesome. A bunch of other people in there as well. Ngo, is that how I say your name? Hello from Vietnam. Nice to see you. Mark, you're in Canada. Choice. So subjective. Yeah, it is. I mean, so subjective is 100% what I would say about all of these, because like people say about the Boomerang Looper, I hate its pedals, its buttons. So I'm like, it's not a good choice for me, but it's a great looper. Same with the Voice Live 3 and the RC300. Which one's better? Well, it depends what you want. Like the RC300 is a bigger board without any, I'm going to say without any effects. It has effects, but not really. They're not particularly usable, as you'll see from most other people. So thanks, Mark. There are ways to work the harmonies and hit button back in, which are the likes of having a guitar switcher pedal, which is something I've considered, or a multi-effects processing unit. So like the most likely will be the line 6 stuff, probably, for that, where I can program things in, and then harmonies and that sort of stuff as well. There's a bunch of options in there, but yeah, and Ron, as you've said, man, I've used the head rush for the ease of a small rig. The head rush loop station is an awesome rig as well, with effects and things built in, and there's a bunch of people that have switched to it as well. So, subjective. Mark, I added a radial AB switch into my rig along with a pod go, so I can run one or the other or both. True. Okay, nice. Move to the head rush. Yes, no, nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you, brother. Thanks for tuning in from Vietnam as well. Appreciate it. It's cool. Ron, I love it. I always love my RC300, and it's still in the bag as my backup. Yeah, you've literally done what I did with the Voice Live 3. It's there should I have a crisis, and I love it. It's just not the main rig at the moment. Not enough money. That's it. Just but I mean the funny thing with it is, and I think I mean there's some fundamental skills of looping and arranging and how we perform, but part of it is as well. Like I got to the point where I would have a blank screen on the Voice Live 3 and I could play a gig, because it's memory of what's happening on your board, and although with individual pedals that's easy because you can visually see what's happening in front of you, I feel like I'm genuinely just getting to the point now where my feet physically, I can start track 1, I can stop it because I can record on track 2 without looking down, and I know I'm gonna hit them. It's not a like probably gonna get it. It's like some little starts and stops, especially with track 1, which is my usually a rhythm groove. Then I can start that, stop it straight away for just those one hits, which is really quite nice. Yeah, it's nice to connect and be on. I think we got through me explaining some different little parts of what I've been putting together recently, and it's John, you always have a blank screen on the VL3 because the screen is so bad. Nice. Yeah, the classic. You can change the contrast. You know, that's like your best option. But I'll agree, it's not. Even doing that is not the most visually clear screen. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. If anyone's got any questions, then feel free to fire them in the chat, and we'll get onto it. I really enjoyed, also, if you haven't seen it, putting out the video, the interview with Mike McCarthy on home recording for guitar and vocals. There's some more editing I'm doing on some of the chats we had with him. So a bunch of you sent a message, which is awesome, that you appreciated, you got something out of it, which is really, really cool. But I feel very blessed that you know, not only is he willing to spend the time and create some content, it's quite uncommon for someone to be so generous with sharing what they know and how they approach things. And I mean, I guess that's why the first one we did resonated with a bunch of people. He's got an amazing history of people he's worked with in South Africa and New Zealand, and yeah, it's been very enjoyable editing and going over his info. So there's some more stuff on there, particularly on how to record acoustic guitar, a few little settings and things, and then we've got one set up where he goes through his process of actually post-production editing as well. So totally rambling, but that's what's on the cards, and just yeah, stoked that you're all appreciating that as well. It's cool. So, Roger, this is a really stupid question, I think, given the audience. But how do you handle copyright issues with covers you do on YouTube? Brother, it's a great question. It comes up a bunch. YouTube has a system in place that it's different for different countries somewhat, as I understand it. But fundamentally, anytime I do a cover of another artist, they have the right to completely block that. They have the right to monetize it or do that side of it. So leave it up and say, yep, cool. In which case there's a split of royalties and revenue and things like that. But they have complete control. So if I did a cover of a song, the original artist can say, nope, it can't be online, or yeah, it can be online, but they're going to claim the ad revenue and put ads on the video, that sort of thing. So, so I genuinely don't worry about it with YouTube at all. It's more anything we've released online through Spotify or a recording, then there's a process that we have to go through in advance of getting essentially permission or that handled, so someone takes the data of streams and downloads and things like that and make sure the original artist or owner is paid appropriately. So I hope that helps. Don't do an Eagles cover, they will take it down 3 times. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really love to do got some great stuff, and I think it's a shame, to be honest. It's like it's more people sharing, and it's connecting with a different generation now via YouTube covers and the different arrangements. You look at how many acoustic covers playlists there are on Spotify, and yeah, it's there is an older generation listening to them too, but they're primarily being created by the next generation from the Eagles, and that just would find them new markets, in my opinion. But we've each got our own scenario, right, and what's important to us, or what we believe. So that's the stance they take. Right, Chris, hey brother. Melbourne, I'm buying an acoustic guitar because I want to do my own backing as I sing. What guitar would you recommend? My beginner songs I can try and play sing at the same time. Thanks. A tough one to say. A little bit like the loop pedal discussion. I genuinely think go into a guitar store and play everything from the cheapest stuff in there. That if you like the look of something, get it down, have it play. You'll chat. You might you're in Melbourne. It might be a challenge at the moment. I'm not sure whether you guys are at. I think you're back in a lockdown scenario, which might make things a little bit harder. But I really recommend playing everything from that to pick up the most expensive one. Even if you think my budget's $1,000, play the $3,000 Maton or Taylor or Takamine or whatever, and you'll start to find that for most people, yes, the more expensive guitars in general will probably feel and sound better overall, but what you'll find by playing them all is you'll end up in some store and you'll play something that's only $1,000, and you're like, man, I like this better than the $2,500 Cole Clark or whatever it happens to be. So I genuinely think it's really worth just playing a bunch of instruments, even if you're not that great, even if you just started learning, to kind of get a sense of things, and then you'll know what to do. You'll know, yeah, you've got the most information on what will feel good to you, what your budget is, all that sort of stuff. Whether you want something with a pickup so you can plug in and play through PA if you're performing live, or if you want to do like recording and looping and things like that. Yeah. Okay, bunch of questions and messages. Let's jump into them. John, I have an external 3-button Digitic foot switch on my VL3. Any ideas on how best to use the extra buttons? Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, depends a little bit on your show. There's some things that can be quite useful. You can set an erase all for the loops, which saves going back to the loop screen if you're not on it. Just done. But be aware that even if you're playing, if it's looping and you've got something going and someone bumps it or you hit the wrong thing by mistake, even mid playing everything, it will erase all of your loops. So and the other one that I quite liked having there was I ran the Switch 6 a bunch of times with it. Was you can have the single button looper, so it will record track A, regardless of, even if you're on the main screen, like the vocal or the guitar screen. And that can be a really good way to just eliminate dead space if you've got a party vibe. You can erase something, you can put the groove down if you want for the next track, or however you start, you can record if you're going to start the next loop and just jump into it. You can record your guitar part and be singing the song, have that recorded, and then your hands are free to this is kind of irrelevant, to have a beer. You can see that my priorities at gigs now, yeah, we'll start the next song so that my hands are free, so I can finally have a beer and everyone's still dancing on the dance floor. But yeah, I mean that's I found that quite useful. Depending on your setup as well, you can mute the mic or the guitar, which can be really useful. And if you're using reverb from the Voice Live 3 on your vocals or delay, then instead of hitting the 2 buttons for the tuner and to switch to the kind of talkback mode, which kills the effect, then that's a good option as well. So yeah, so anyway, I hope that's useful. I'm trying to think what else I had lined up in there, but they're the ones that I used mostly. Other than that, I just set different effects that I that I ran out of space mapping on the main screen. Yeah, just for easy access, so I never had to go to the guitar screen. I literally never, very, very rarely went to the guitar screen on the Voice Live 3. I just mapped stuff to the main vocal layer. So yeah, cool. Rick Beardo had bother even when it was a song and is what makes this song great. So yeah, amazing. Why would you complain about a video saying how great your song is? Giving you, yeah, I mean, anyway, got his views, and that's probably what it's going to be, huh? Yeah, Lag High Vibe Acoustic Guitar has a built-in looper. Yes, I did see that a while back actually. Was curious on that. I think it would be super fun as a practicing tool. There's a Lag guitar. I've actually played a couple of their guitars. I quite like them. That has a built-in looper in it. Who knows? Maybe not the greatest thing for shows, but maybe it's handy to have. But super enjoyable if you're just sitting at the beach or at a park and want to play around with some ideas. That's pretty cool. All right. Roger started learning trumpet a couple of years ago, and 6 months in, I played about 8 horns until cool. Okay, so yeah, the old the search for finding out the right instrument. I like it. Robert, welcome along. Hi everybody, if you've just joined, welcome. Nice to have you here. Yeah, welcome along to another little live chat. Christopher, thanks so much. Love your videos. How do you? Oh, thanks, brother. You're most welcome. Yes, in lockdown, Melbourne. Sorry, man. Yeah, I hope it. Well, I was gonna say, I hope you're getting some singing in if you don't have a guitar yet, and finding some enjoyment being in lockdown. Anyway, I am. You've got me wanting a beer now. I think we might have to wrap up this question and answer series, so I can go and have a beer and play some more music. I'm gonna keep working on this little arrangement, but a lot of that comes down to genuinely practice on those parts. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Love it. If you're gigging, don't buy a really expensive acoustic. It'll get beat up or even stolen. Oh man, I feel like that's such a tough one, eh? Because you got to enjoy yourself, right? At the end of the day, so maybe it's not the most expensive guitar, but it still has to feel good and sound good, so that you can like fully get into enjoying everything. That's what I reckon. Yeah, if it's I feel like I'm getting in trouble on this live stream. Roger, I just read your comment. Responsible for me buying a live track and possibly a looper next. Oops, sorry, man. I'm running through the live. Oh, actually, you guys will laugh at this. I had a gig. I guess it's 2 weeks ago now. Seeing as we've had a week in lockdown, and for some reason I was getting no signal from one of the tracks on the live track we were running it as the mixer. So odd. And anyway, I just shifted the channel and cool, we're all good, no worries. But I hadn't noticed that track, for some reason, I had panned it hard right, and just again, that still should have come through the system, but there was just nothing there. So I don't know, I did something a little bit weird, but I laughed afterwards, being like, oh man, it's usually something super simple, right? We've just missed it, and and then it's like a case of going back, being like, so I've done that too, where it's like, I remember doing a gig in some Featherston actually, and I was stressing out. I'd only done maybe 1 or 2 gigs at the venue, so it was pretty fresh, and I really liked it. It was when I was at uni, and I checked everything. Yep. Okay. Yep. Guitar plugged into whatever effects I had. The speakers are on. I'm just getting nothing. Like I'd followed the cable right to the desk, out from the desk into the. I hadn't turned the actual desk on. So I hope you get a laugh out of all my stupid moments along the way, but yeah, nice. Bought a nice Takamine from a pawn shop. Don't have any problem taking it to the beach. Nice, Byron. Yeah, I honestly, I'm terrible with some of this stuff because I enjoy playing guitars and making music with them, and so sometimes they end up in situations where I know a lot of people are like, you can't, poor precious guitar, but it's to have fun and make music with, right? And there's plenty in the shops, so if they die, go and get another one. Clearly not too sentimental. Over Yamaha I've used for 20 years. sounds fine, but not taking a 300-pound Martin out. Yeah, fair enough. Awesome. Yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah, it's everyone's got a different story too, with some disasters along the way, right? So yeah. But nice to chat with you all. I'm gonna go and have a beer now. I'm not sure if you guys suggested it or I sort of suggested that myself, but that's what's happening. Last question, Rodden. David? What's your normal volume level on your guitar? I have this set to about 3/4 volume wise. I kind of want to send a nice chunk of signal, whatever this is picking up, through the system. That I'll adjust it if need be, if we're going into something else where I'm distorting for some reason, or if I can't change the gain on the next thing in the signal chain. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, look, it's nice to be on, and I said on the last one, I will tee up a live stream where I just play tunes and we'll build some loops and jam out. I was like, maybe I could do an Eagles song, but then I'll probably just have to edit that out. But maybe I could do it live. We could sneak it in and then edit it out later, and have a laugh. But nice to chat with you all and connect. And yeah, feel free. I'll make some videos from what comes up on the website if you send some questions through. And Rodden, if you wanna send me a note, man, I'll just send you through the details of each of the tracks set up, and we'll get that. We'll get them all your RC300 tracks syncing nicely for you, because that would drive me insane. So we'll get that sorted. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Cool. All right, everybody. Have a good Tuesday morning, night, Monday night, wherever you are in the world, whatever's going on, and happy playing. We'll catch you with some new videos soon somewhere on the channel. And thanks for hanging out for all the questions. Ciao.